presents Definitely Not a Jew on the Adam Carolla Show. Dateline, Frankfort, Kentucky. A 76-year-old man who served as a Kentucky state senator died when he accidentally drove his riding lawnmower into an empty swimming pool. Definitely not a Jew.
Oh, Mayhem's got news, but I looked down at my paper and something reminded me of something. I go around and I keep a running list of least favorite guys.
All right.
Guys I couldn't hang with.
Damn, who made the list?
This guy. I landed in Vegas, was waiting to get picked up at McCarran a week ago. Guy picks his wife up. He's got some little shitty dog that, of course, is entitled Narcissist Wife Traveled on the airplane and through the airport. The notion that somebody may be sitting next to you in coach and not want to suck up your dog farts and dander is outlandish to them. That's off the table. He then picks her up in the SUV. It's crowded. People are trying to find a spot to pick people up on the curb. She takes her time, puts the luggage. He greets her, puts the dog, puts her in the car. They pull forward like 10 feet, and then they stop, and he sits there with the dog on his lap in a crowded airport while people are trying to get in and out and pick people up at the curb, puts it in park, and then has a party with the dog like Charlie Brown and Snoopy would do. The dog's licking his face. He's loving the dog's, and I'm just watching him the whole time. If I had a rock, I would have thrown at his car and went, get the fuck out of here. Go. There's other people who are trying to pick people up, and you're being reunited with your fucking dog.
Oh, he was saying hello to the dog.
Yeah, saying hello. She traveled on the flight through the airport, the narcissist couple, and then he just parked his car, and he was just like, yeah, I got my dog, and licking. Come on, Peanut. Come on, Peanut. Licking. And I'm like, everyone, get the fuck out of the airport, and then if you want to pull over by the side of the road when you get to Desert Springs or Wayne Newton Boulevard and butt fuck your dog, then do it. But don't do it at the airport. We're waiting to get in. There's other people who exist who would like to come in and pick people up. I know you're happy to see your dog. Do it at home, bro.
I don't know. Maybe they have an OnlyFans.
That's a good point. All right, what do you got?
Mayhem celebrity reporter Kristin Cavallari. Britney Spears asked for my number over a clone conspiracy. Yeah, this is outside of my expertise because this is definitely like a chick story. But Kristin Cavallari has revealed that Britney Spears reached out to her, but it wasn't for casual girl talk. Turns out the singer had something to say after catching the comment she made.
We have a clip?
Got a clip.
Who died? What happened? Like, I can't, my heart can't take it. And he goes, guess who wants your phone number? And I went, who? Britney fucking Spears. And I'm going, what? Okay, if you didn't listen to the last episode Justin and I did, my big thing was Kanye West, I think, is a clone. But also I said, Britney is not Britney. So Britney obviously caught wind of that. There is a part of me that is like, I don't really want to talk about this stuff because there is a little part of me that is scared. I'm not going to lie. Britney sent me a text. Oh, it's her clone. I would love to read it.
It was like, no, that's Britney Spears.
Only a clone would say something like that. I get a call from...
All right. This is a chick thing, right?
Yes.
I've never thought about
I've heard
clones.
people say, hey, do you know if Kanye is a clone or not? And I'm like, what? Why?
Here's my thing. Certain theories, conspiracy theories, are dude thing.
Yep.
There's octagon thing.
Yes.
And then there's safe space. Clone is safe space. That's chick think. I've never heard a dude, but flat earthers are all men.
Yep.
But women, it's actually not that they don't believe in the conspiracy of the flat earther. I think a lot of them just think it's flat anyway. I don't think for us it's a conspiracy theory. For them, it's just how they view it.
Just the way things are.
Just the way things are. So I I would like. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I would want more or less Kanye's.
I mean, I'm going with a clone army of Kanye's personally. I think that we could be unstoppable if I had one platoon of Kanye's.
What about his super skinny girlfriend who wears nothing every time they go out?
I think they're getting a divorce, but I would take a few clones of her too.
I've heard they're back out. They're in Japan. Are back in Japan.
Oh yeah.
Also weird that he dresses like the Michelin Man and she dresses like she's on a float in Carnival.
Butt naked.
But it's weird, right? He's wearing gloves and a dickie and like there's no skin exposure, and then she's naked. People don't really know what to do with naked, you know? Like she walks into stores and stuff and they just kind of look at her and they don't know what to do.
I think the standard is if nips covered, vag covered, technically you're wearing clothes for a woman. If I roll around with a little bit of scrotum showing.
Vag short for vagine?
Yeah, vagine.
A little scrotum and you're judged.
Yeah, a little scrotum and I'm out. I'm in doing 3 to 5 at Chino.
I'm trying to think of... Also, it seems so uncomfortable and possibly cold all the time for her to walk around. Yeah, they're just in Japan at a McDonald's.
Naked chicks have superpowers. You don't know that? They just walk around however they want, and then they feel fine. Oh, what?
Also, so the thing about Kanye is if he's looking to slide under the radar when he goes out, don't have a chick who's essentially a bass lure who's forcing everyone to turn and see her double Ds that are hanging out and then realize it's Kanye standing next to her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
A beacon of tits out.
I would spot her first and then go, it's Kanye. But I guess Kanye wants to be seen.
I wouldn't even notice Kanye, to be honest.
You wouldn't just notice her?
Yeah.
So she's back to wearing not much, and they're eating...
Yeah,
they're Japanese. Strategy. Now, do you guys know, like in Japan, they have like a Big Mac, but it has an egg on it?
Yeah.
Or some seaweed salsa or something.
They do.
And they have tempura.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. Where are we on this? I kind of like, I want just fucking McDonald's.
Well, no, that's the thing. And you can get regular ass McDonald's. They just do have, the gentle differences.
I don't like the option.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, culture. We've imported our culture and foisted it upon you, and you shall consume our culture or not.
Well, here's the menu for McDonald's, as they call it.
But here's what I'm saying. This is like the bilingual preschool teacher. I don't want it. Tough shit. This is our language, bitch. Learn it.
But wait a minute. You're saying that McDonald's has to go and not conform? You want everyone to conform to McDonald's.
McDonald's is McDonald's.
Oh, I see.
It was invented here.
Yeah.
And when we export it, they get our American version of McDonald's.
But now you're talking anti-capitalistic. You got to make that money. And if they want filet of fish teriyaki style, we're giving them filet of fish teriyaki.
Let me tell you, there's examples of it going the other direction. Panda Express was fine dining in Tokyo. They moved to La Crescenta where me and my kids, and they didn't touch the menu. A lot, just all the same.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there.
I don't know. That's the way I heard it.
Panda Express is the whitest Chinese food, and it's Chinese, by the way. It's the whitest Chinese food I ever ate.
Oh, beef bowl. Shit, what is that one? Is that Chinese?
Vietnamese.
Oh, all right.
I'm an expert at this. Moving on, the New York Times admits woke ideology is losing its grip on the country. Yeah. News analysis over the weekend. Woke ideology peaked in the aftermath of the death of George Floyd in 2020 and has largely dissipated this election cycle.
Well, they keep trying to foist everything on everyone, and it doesn't work. And then also, a lot of these companies are dropping their DEI stuff because it's expensive and it doesn't really work, and you don't get the best and the brightest when you just announce I need 3 of these and 2 of those and 4 gay guys and 5 black chicks. Yeah. How's it ever going to work? It's weirdly it's a strange DEI experiment, and we'll see what happens. But we're right in the test tube or the petri dish, as it were, which is Kamala Harris should not have been the vice president.
Yeah.
But she was affirmative action hire.
Yeah.
Biden, because he's a race hustler, said, I will have a woman of color. I'll have a black woman.
It. Yeah, I remember
so
this.
that's the only person that can run, which significantly narrowed the field. If you just said, I'm McLaren and I have an F1 team, but the only drivers I'll be looking at is females of color, you would probably shrink the possible drivers of your F1 car down to a small group. And you know what would happen? You would not get the fastest driver. It would be, it's almost impossible. It's not impossible, but it is not likely at all. And it would be the same thing if you said the kicker for my football team or the free safety for my football team or the guy who's batting fourth on the Dodgers, whatever it is. You might get the greatest black female slugger in the world, but it probably wouldn't work out. And it wouldn't work out the other direction. If the Lakers said our mandate is to start 3 white players because
preferably Jews.
Preferably Jewish. Look, we'll shoehorn an Asian in there because look at the people at the game. It's predominantly white. Yeah. We need that representation on the court. Lakers would not win a lot more games.
I know.
Okay, so this is understood. So we did a DEI hire in a vice president. She was, by all accounts, horrible. That her approval rating was through the floorboards. Nobody liked her. Lots of staff fired, and the press, even the mainstream press, sort of agreed she was bad at her job. She was put in charge of the border. She didn't do a good job. So nobody liked her. And then her boss, had an aneurysm, and now he's gone. And now the press had to fire up again and all of a sudden love her because they want her to get elected. But it could be very possible that this super unqualified DEI hire is running the most powerful nation in the world because of this.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's now abandoning that kind of woke talk. She doesn't do the pronoun thing anymore. Yeah, it's a brand new time. The DEI is gone the way of the dodo. The woke stuff, I guess it just kind of lost its luster, I would say. And 4 years ago, it was the hottest thing. And I guess the talking points
it's like
just fizzled.
All this shit is like a boy band. And that if everyone is really good and they work real hard and they stick together, then they could have a career for 30 years. But if not, people will turn the page and move on. If you saying, listen, we need to call Latinos Latinx or Latinx, and I went, that makes sense, then it would catch on. If I go, what the fuck are you talking about? It's not going to catch on.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
And the problem with most of their woke shit, it was all just retarded. Like, don't clap, snap.
Yeah,
like,
what the hell?
Okay, what the fuck?
Neurodivergent people?
Yeah. I'm going to be known as them. And then everything will be super confusing because when I refer to you as them, you're just one person, and then it's going to imply that there's more than one person, and no one will know what the fuck anyone's talking about. The bizarre and sad part is that people go along with this shit.
They're stopping. That's the whole point of this study, is that now people just quit on that. Nobody's doing Latinx. That didn't catch on. What they did was the shotgun approach, it looks like. They try to do all these things, and maybe a couple of them stuck, but them is going the way of the dodo. It's changing. Things are changing. That's for sure.
All right.
Yeah, next up, Peruvian soccer players struck by lightning on the pitch.
Oh, my God. I saw this.
One dead, several hurt.
This?
Look, I think we should just watch it. It is bizarre.
It's crazy.
They're walking along like nothing. Lightning strike, and 5 guys hit the ground And you know soccer players fake a lot, but this looks real.
No. No, I mean, that guy got stiff as a board and just went straight down.
But what was even crazier is the other guys all around, like in a radius.
Yeah.
They exploded into just flop.
Yeah. You gotta, was a couple thoughts. Sad, young man.
Yeah.
If you gotta go, I mean, this is the way to go.
Yes, I agree.
Just one day you're kicking a ball, and the next minute you're just lit up like a Christmas tree and gone. Okay.
Oh my God.
Now listen.
The booth, hey, you guys are doing some craziness
my
out there.
God.
You get the exact moment of strike. That's something else. They
It's
say
a flame.
yoga
It looks like
fire.
it looks like a guy just walked into a 9-foot tall flame.
That is the way to go.
Crazy. All right, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for a second.
All right.
If you get hit by lightning, there's got to be some thought with remaining family members. Like, I wonder if that guy was a pedophile. Now, I'm not saying he was.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's a little act of God, a little force majeure in there, right?
Like how many children did he murder?
Possibly.
Sounds-
Now, there's that side of the Jesus equation, right? The other side of the Jesus equation is the guy who gambled on the game and was down bad.
Yeah.
And there was 4 minutes left in the game, and boom, suspended, a push, no payday, no reschedule. That guy has to feel like he's touched by God versus the person's hit by lightning, which is smoten.
Smite me?
Smited by God.
Yeah, he smoted him for sure. They say he was wearing like a metal bracelet or something.
Martha Stewart says she's been struck by lightning 3 times. Which normally I would say she's lying, but that bitch spends so much time in the garden with a fucking rake over her head. There's no doubt she's been singled out. Can you find that did anyone watch her doc?
I just saw it. I didn't watch it yet. Yeah, I saw the preview for it. I was like, hell yeah.
Early on, I think like minute 8, fairly early in the hour and a half doc. It's interesting. She is talking about her husband having an affair, and she gives a message to the ladies out there about men having an affair and how they shouldn't tolerate it and so on and so forth. And then something really insane ensues, which made me realize that I kind of like her, but she's an insane narcissist. And it's a crazy clip. If we find it, if we're able to find it, I'll share it with you. But it's also kind of crazy. I also want to speak to the subject that when women, well, I'll look at Joe Prano, who's a sports guy, and I'll also look at Mayhem here. Women always do this thing. Like Ellen's special is like, I'm not allowed to be a tough boss because I'm a woman. And when a guy does it, he's assertive and he's forthright and he knows what he wants and he's a perfectionist. And when a woman does it, she's a bitch. And my girlfriend was pointing that out. And I then pointed out, no, it's Ellen pretending to be nice and being a bitch. That's what we don't like. I said, there's a guy in baseball, a team owner. His name is George Steinbrenner. He owned the Yankees, and he was a world-class asshole, and everyone knew it. And there was a Seinfeld episode about it, and everyone knows Steinbrenner's an asshole. Okay. Also, there was another female team owner, Marge Schott.
Yeah.
She was an asshole.
Yeah.
Nobody gave her shit. We just knew she was a bitch. And nobody liked her, but it's like, yeah, it's Marge Schott. She's a grumpy, bitchy, rich bitch who owns the Cincinnati Reds. And then there is George Steinbrenner, who's got a penis, and he's an asshole. What we don't like is if Marge Schott pretended to be nice and then we found out she was a bitch. You just wear it. We'll leave you alone.
It's like the Trump effect, kind of. He just is his authentic self all the time, so we don't mind that he does this or does that. We're like, that's Trump.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg's got a little of that working.
Yeah.
You know, just who he is.
If you just like smear yourself in a cloak of authenticity, just this is who I am.
You
and
normally
people
you
let
have
you
to
off.
be it though. Like you have to live it.
Yeah.
You can fool, Ellen fooled the shit out of everyone for
did.
a long time, but at some point it'll catch
The
up
facade,
to you.
the cracks.
The cracks will show. Is that online anywhere, that thing?
The Martha thing?
Yeah.
We've got her documentary up and we're scrubbing it. I watched the first half, so I know where it is. We should have it momentarily.
Is it like 8 minutes in, or is that
Like
my recollection?
15.
Oh, is it 15?
I'm
Sorry.
going to say ballpark.
Okay. It is a great clip. And when people act this way, even though I make fun of them, it's all from jealousy. I wish I could just stare down the barrel of a camera and say a bunch of shit that would never happen and stand by it.
Yeah.
I really do. And feel good about myself.
Wait, what do you mean the jealousy? People are jealous.
When I see people do things like somebody will cut in front of somebody in line and the person behind will tap on the shoulder and go, "Excuse you, I was waiting in line." I look at him and I go, I get jealous of that person because I would just stand there. I wouldn't say anything.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I might, there's a 20% chance I might, if the person was like real blatant about it, but if it's clear they didn't know what was going on and just slid in front or something, I'd just sit there. Yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with it. And also, I wouldn't want to deal with the confrontation and, whatever it is. I'd hang out.
I see what you're saying.
I'm jealous of the assertive people.
Yeah, I like confrontation. I end up arguing with everybody. Sometimes I will avoid confrontation because I'm afraid that I'll be too confrontational. Then I'll get into some shenanigans. But most of the time, I ain't got no problem with that.
Well, that's where we part ways, my friend. Yeah, she was sitting down. It was during the sit-down interview part, Joe, if you recall.
Wait, and set this up. She's talking about...
She's being interviewed for her doc.
Yeah.
She explains that her first husband, was having numerous affairs.
Oh, yeah.
She then tells all the women watching that he's a piece of shit and you don't need to put up with this shit.
Yeah.
She put up with it. You don't need to. If your man is cheating, he's a piece of shit and you don't need to put up with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the rest I won't divulge because that would be me stepping on something. And we'll see when Joe finds it. He'll make an announcement. So you think it's about 15 in? That sounds about, it could be about right.
We're still looking for it. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's like earlier on. We found a monogamy part and a being faithful to him. But I know the exact exchange you're looking for. So
Okay. Well, you can do one more mayhem.
Oh, yeah, no problem. A nonprofit accuses them, UC Berkeley, of biased research that downplays damage of California's $20 minimum wage.
Well, this is more safe space bullshit. So
Yeah.
what you do is you go, we need to raise the minimum wage because it needs to be. First thing you do is you start changing the name of everything. These aren't homeless people. These are unhoused people. These aren't illegal aliens. They're undocumented migrants.
Yeah.
This isn't a minimum wage. It's a living wage. It has to be a living wage. And so you go, what the hell is wrong with these people who are down on the economic totem pole? And you invent something. She's a mother of 3. She's in her 40s. She works hard. What's wrong with her making enough money to take care of her family? So then you get to walk away being a better person.
Yeah.
The problem is McDonald's is going to lay her off and they're going to stop hiring people. And big picture, guess who's not going to build in Los Angeles or California where this minimum wage has been raised up to $20.
McDonald's.
Right. All of them are going to leave.
Yeah.
So now you have a safe space idea, but you got a problem. Yeah. And so what they do is they come up with a shit idea. Then they enlist experts to back up their idea with some sort of data. 51 former intelligence experts called Hunter Biden's laptop Russian collusion.
Yeah.
They called it a Russian plant. Okay. Thank you, experts. Now you've made your point, except for they were wrong, and this is how you do it.
Yeah.
So you go, I want to do this thing. Big Tobacco used to do it.
Yeah.
Nicotine's not addictive.
Yeah.
It
Smoking
isn't.
doesn't hurt
Seems
you.
like it is. Oh, no. We got scientists.
Yeah.
They said it wasn't.
Yeah, the activists and academics ignore the best available data methods for methods that prove their predetermined conclusions. EPI research director Rebecca Paxton.
You don't need any research. You just go raise it to $20 and people are going to stop hiring and they're going to automate and they're going to have kiosks and they're going to have Flippy the robot doing the burgers and there's going to be no more high school kids getting a first job at McDonald's. And oh my God, but imagine if they did this when Kamala Harris was working at that McDonald's over there.
Yeah, the Burger King's big fish meal surged 53% in California.
Price-wise?
Yeah, price-wise.
Well, the other part is the poor people who eat at McDonald's can't afford this shit. Back to Panda Express. I was talking to my guys, poor Mexican guys at the shop the other day. I mean, they get paid pretty good, but they're not living high on the hog.
Yeah.
They eat at Panda Express. They get a big thing of food for,
cheap, yeah.
Yeah, I remember taking my kids there. I was like, this food is free. I said, I looked at, the styrofoam thing with the noodles and the beef and stuff, and they're all eating. And I go, it's gone up, huh? Whether that set you back $14? And they go, $18.
Yeah.
I was like, shit's getting that's the cheapest food we
A Subway
got.
sandwich today cost me like $17.
Right.
Ridiculous.
All right, we got the Martha Stewart clip.
Oh,
I
man.
think Joe knows what I'm talking about. It's a good one.
Young women, listen to my advice. If you're married and you think you're happily married and your husband starts to cheat on you, he's a piece of shit. And look at him as a piece of shit and get out of it. Get out of that marriage. But I couldn't do that. Couldn't walk away.
Didn't you have an affair early on in the relationship or when you were a sex worker?
Yeah, but I don't think Andy ever knew about that. He did?
Yes, you would confess to him.
Oh.
He says he didn't stray from the marriage until you told him you had already.
Exactly.
That's not true. I don't think.
But what happened? You had an affair.
I had a very brief affair with a very attractive Irish man. And there's just nothing. There's nothing. In terms of, it would never have broken up, I would never have broken up a marriage for it. There's nothing. There's nothing.
All right. That is balls right there. So you explain to all the women watching that your husband's a piece of shit if he steps out and you need to leave. And then we find out you had an affair. And then you say it was after he had an affair, but it turns out it was before he had his affair. And then you just keep explaining it was nothing. His was a big deal. Yours was nothing.
But it was a very attractive Irish.
Yeah, it's a good-looking dude. I'm not even gay, and I probably would have blown that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
man.
wouldn't?
He was Conor McGregor in the looks department. That is a true sociopath there, right?
No, that's just like a woman. Like, if I do it, yeah, that's
All
how
right,
it is.
You know what?
No?
Yeah, we've
All
done.
right.
You've said it all.
Right, you're welcome.
You've said it all. All right, I'm going to be in Vegas over at Jimmy's Club coming up November 14th, and then 16th I'll be in Big Bear Lake doing stand-up there. It's a big festival. Also, they're doing some kind of it's for a charity for fire relief as well. I will be in Oxnard at doing stand-up at Levity Live November 29th, and then Houston Arena coming up doing stand-up with Craig Shoemaker and Kayvon over there. That'll be December 6th. You go to amcrow.com for all the live shows. You got anything, Manuka honey?
I mean, buy some Manuka honey. Go to my Instagram. I don't care.
All right, so until next time, Sam Kroll for Dennis Prager and Mayhem Miller saying mahalo.